Hello! Thank you for taking the time to go through this brief presentation on Spoggle, from Tessor Insights, end-to-end analytics on a single pane of glass. Our vision is to empower business users in the enterprises with agility and speed to insights. How do we provide agility and speed to insights? Through a unified, self-serve, data and analytics platform for business users. With all the tools pre-integrated in one place. With all the functions accessible from a single pane of glass. Under one platform. For one price, under a single subscription fee. Business users can experiment with data and insights, solve use cases on their own, and share results with other users and applications. Idea to insights, all on a single pane of glass, with a click of a few buttons. No need to hop from tool to tool. Let us go through end-to-end use case orchestration by business users in their own sandbox. Firstly, they can orchestrate data end-to-end. They can get actionable insights. They can collaborate with other business users to share and reuse data and insights. They can integrate with other applications through API. As part of data orchestration at all times, they will have access to their data catalog. Business users can bring their own data. They can transform by combining their data with enterprise data. They can get auto insights right at ingestion. These insights are narrated right at ingestion by our proprietary module, Tessor Actionable Insights, TAI, as we call it. More about TAI later. Business users can derive their own insights by building models and applying them to solve their use cases. They can collaborate with other business users to share and reuse data and insights. They can share data and insights with third-party applications through APIs. In this presentation, we will walk you through an end-to-end data and analytics use case orchestration by a business user. I work for a used car sales dealership firm, which uses Spoggle from Tessor Insights. Spoggle has used car sales history as enterprise data, and I have access to it from my catalog. I have a list of cars to be sold in a file with me. I would like to predict the price of the cars in my list based on history in the enterprise data. I have some data missing from my list, which my colleague needs to share. Now let me take you through the demo flow. Firstly, I will log in and view my data catalog. This will show me used cars sales history as enterprise data. Then, I will click on TAI on this dataset to get Tessor Actionable Insights. I will view the profile of the data and data health. To help me build the model, I will get the key influencers that influence the sale price. You will see that TAI will suggest the key influencers automatically for me. For example, age of the car, miles driven, and original price. Then, I will move on to building the prediction model, and I will test and save the model to be applied on my data. I will use the key influences got from TAI for building the model. I have a list of cars that need to be sold with me in a file, which is my own data. I will ingest the same, convert to table, and cleanse. Then I will combine this with data shared by a colleague to create a transformed dataset. Then I will apply the built model on this transformed dataset to predict the price of the car. This will add the predicted sale price for all the cars to be sold, and I will get predicted sale price dataset. I will also share this with other staff, and also export the data as file for my offline use. For the sake of demonstration, I will also create an API and publish the same for use by other applications. I will also show you how all my activities are tracked, and how I get guidance on the next step at each step of my use case orchestration. Welcome to Spoggle Use Case Demo. When you first log in, you see the Spoggle homepage that has three options: Ingest, Experiment with your data, and TAI in action. Now, we will choose Experiment with your data option to go to the data catalog. On login, we get a view of the data catalog. In the left navigation menu, there are sections like Files, Datasets, Clusters, Prepared, Analyses, Reports and Insights API. We will now focus on the Datasets section. The Datasets section displays both datasets shared by a colleague to you and those created by you. You may pick any dataset available here and work on them as needed. In this demo, we will be working with the used car sales history dataset. In the following section, we will look at the auto insights generated by our TI, which stands for Tessor Actionable Insights functionality. To do this, once TI is initiated, simply click on the blue arrow next to the respective dataset to display the TI screen. On clicking a dataset, we see three sections below: Preview, Profile, and Lineage. Here, we see the preview of the profile being displayed, which is generally a small sample of the data within the dataset. On clicking the Profile section, we see values of more statistical importance such as mean, median, mode, and more. And, finally, clicking the Lineage section displays the actions that were done on the current dataset to transform it to its current state. Here, on the top right corner, we can see the data health of any dataset. The information displayed shows you the missing values or errors in the dataset, along with any duplicate records. We see that the data health of our dataset used car sales history is 98.93%. Now, we click on the blue arrow next to our dataset that will take us to the TI screen. The first piece of information we will focus on in this screen is the key influencers. The key influencers section displays a column of the dataset and its major impacts. Here, we see that original price is the major influencer of the selling price value. You can change the column from selling price to anything else by clicking on the highlighted selling price value. There is also a what if section below the key influencers section. Here, you can play with different values and see the original price change depending on the values you select. On the right, we have the Q&A prompt, which leverages Power BI to let you explore the dataset further by asking a question. Finally, we also get narrated insights, which summarize the data displayed in the auto-generated graphs. Moving on, there's also the univariate analysis section. Here we can display the data in any column we like and see if there are any outliers present. Currently, we're displaying the selling price column and it shows that there are 116 outliers in this column. To treat the outliers, simply click on the outlier number. On clicking the outlier number, we are taken to the data prep screen where we can select the outlier value, or range, that we wish to treat and treat them. We can go back to the univariate analysis screen, select a different column and repeat the process again if we want to. We will now move on to building a prediction model. In the analytical models section, we start by filling out the details of the model such as the name, train and test sample, the value we want to predict and the greatest influencers of that value. Once the values are selected and we create the model, we arrive at the List Models page, where you can see the predicted values of the training and test data. Going back to the home screen, you can review the model you built by going to the Analysis section, clicking on the dataset you worked on, which in our case is the used car sales history dataset, and going to the Models Build section. Once in the Models Build section, scroll down to find the prediction model you build on the dataset. In this section, we look at the process to bring our own data into the platform. To do so, simply click on the Ingest button first. Upon clicking the Ingest Data button, a pop-up comes up where you can either upload files from your computer or ingest from database. Here, we are going to upload the file Used Cars for Sale from our computer. As soon as we ingest, we can see it in File section. We also get to see a preview of the file here. We can convert files to a dataset by clicking on the Define Dataset button. Upon clicking the Define Dataset button, a pop-up displaying the data along with the column data types is shown. You can change the data type of the columns if you wish to. Once you've inputted all the details, you can click on the Review and Convert button to convert our file into a dataset. Once the file has been converted to a dataset, you can find the dataset in the Datasets section. We can see that our file has been converted to the dataset cars to be sold successfully. Now you can cleanse this table cars to be sold as needed. Once you click on the Cleanse function, you can select any column you want to cleanse by clicking on the plus icon. Alternatively, you can also create a custom column if you wish to. After selecting a column, a list of functions for the specific data type of the column is displayed. You can select any one of them to cleanse the dataset. First, We see that we have both the datasets, cars to be sold and used car sales history, with us now. However, we still need the original price of the cars to finish the prediction model. Here is where we show you the sharing feature of our platform. If we or a colleague of ours do not have a key piece of information, then that information can be shared or given access to. To share, simply click on the lock symbol and input the Tessor ID of the person you wish to share with. Once a dataset or file has been shared to you, you can view it under its respective section. Here, we see that the dataset car brand details has been shared with us and thus is visible under the dataset section. We can differentiate between a shared dataset and a created dataset by looking at the owner column. A shared dataset is owned by another person. Now we have to combine cars to be sold with car brand details shared by our colleague. First, we'll select the cars to be sold dataset and click on Transform. When the Transform screen pops up, we see functions such as Join, Aggregate, Sort and Filter. Here we wish to join two tables. To do so, we must first add another table, Car Brand Details. Once we add the other table, we then select both the tables and click on Join. The system then automatically makes an appropriate join. Here you can see that both the tables are joined by an inner join. Once that is done, we click on the Output button to generate an output. After the output has been generated, we fill in the details on the right and click on Save and Run to create the transform. You can then see your transform under the Prepared section. You can also view any cleanse done on a dataset. If you wish to, you can click on the share icon and share your transform with any colleague. Now, we'll attempt to predict the sale prices on our sale price prediction dataset created through the transformation process. To do so, go to the Analysis section and click on the Sale Price Prediction dataset. Then click on the Relevant Models section. Once in the Relevant Models section, at the bottom, you'll find the model we created, Sale Price Prediction Model. Click on the Predict button on the right to run this model on our sale price prediction dataset. As soon as we do that, we get a preview of the prediction data, which will include selling price prediction. We can also download this data if we wish to by clicking on the Download button. Going back to the Datasets section, you can find your prediction dataset there as well. You can download the dataset by clicking on the Download button. You can also share the same with third-party applications by creating an API on the fly. You can create, test, and publish the API, all graphically. This applies to both single and combined datasets. For every action performed, you get a notification of its success or failure. To view these notifications, click on the bell icon on the top right. You can see that for successful actions, a recommended next step is also shown. Next, we will show you the My Activity screen. To view the My Activity screen, click on the purple icon on the bottom right. This is the view of the My Activity screen. The My Activity screen keeps track of all your actions. On the right, you can see a list of recommended actions shown to you, and on the left, you can segregate through your datasets, files or other objects using any of the filters. To go back to the Data Catalog screen, simply click on the purple icon on the bottom right again. Let me summarize how we went about end-to-end use case orchestration. Firstly, we logged in to view the Data Catalog. This showed us used cars sales history as enterprise data. Then, through Tessor Actionable Insights, TI, we viewed the profile of the data and data health. Before building our prediction model, we treated a few outliers on the history data. To help us build the prediction model, we got key influencers that influence the sale price. For example, age of the car, miles driven, and original sale price. We saw what-if analysis, interacted with data asking questions, viewed univariate and bivariate analysis. Then we moved on to building the prediction model, tested, and saved the same. We used the key influences got from TI for building the model. We had the list of cars that need to be sold in a file. We ingested the same, converted to dataset and cleansed. Then we combined that with car brand details dataset, shared by our colleague, to create a transformed dataset. We applied the prediction model on this transformed dataset to predict the price of the cars. This added the predicted sale price for all the cars to be sold, into my prediction data set. We were able to share this with other staff. We also exported the data as file for my offline use. We created an API and published the same for use by other applications. Finally, we saw how all our activities are tracked and how we get guidance on the next step at each step of our use case orchestration. At any point in time, we can visualize the data through embedded Power BI. We did not cover it in the demo due to lack of time. All the Power BI visualization and reporting is possible through our product. Thank you for your kind attention. If you want to experiment with data and insights, solve analytics use cases end-to-end, and share the outcome with other users and applications, all from a single pane of glass, please contact us. Focus on your business, leaving the technology to us.